Hi guys, Coach King here for another edition of King's Speech. Today I'm going to discuss choices. And over the weekend I watched The Announcement, which is a documentary basically highlighting or going over the day Magic Johnson announced to the world that he was HIV positive. And this is way back in 1991. And I remember it distinctly because I was 8 years old, I was living in Okinawa, Japan, and you kind of got to realize growing up, when I was first introduced to basketball, the Lakers were the team, the Lakers and the Celtics, and I quickly gravitated towards Magic and his ability and his playmaking skills, and that's why at the time I wanted to become a basketball player. It was mainly because of Magic and his abilities, just his showmanship and his passion and desire, and how he got everybody involved. And it was just something to see, a great sight to see, and it made me want to play basketball. So while everybody was growing up wanting to be Michael, I wanted to be Magic. Just because, like I said, he played the point guard position. I knew with my height that I probably was going to be my position. So I emulated his abilities and looked up to him. So when that day occurred, when he announced that he was HIV positive, it just totally shook me. Even at the young age of 8, at that time, when you heard the word HIV, it was pretty much a death sentence. And even though at that tender age, I still kind of knew the gravity of the situation, just because how my parents reacted and how everybody in the media was, and even Magic, when he announced the decision and that he was HIV positive, it just totally shook me, because I'm like, wow, this guy I looked up to may not be around too much longer. And he had to obviously stop playing and retire from the NBA, and it was just like I said, I just remember that day distinctly when he made that announcement. It totally shook me and everything. Now, obviously, there's a happy ending to that, or as he continued, because obviously currently Magic's in a great state. He was fortunate enough to get exposed to the best medicine, and he also took very good care of himself, to the point now that the virus is pretty much dormant in the system. So he's been very blessed. And the reason why I bring this up is because I want to talk about choices. And the thing with choices, obviously Magic made the choice of having, sexual relations in an unprotected manner, and put himself at risk, and therefore he contracted the virus. And, sometimes with us, we make choices that can be inconsequential, such as, let's say I, have 2 scoops of ice cream as opposed to 1. Or something like that. That's not going to really affect me too much in the day-to-day lifestyle. Okay, but there are choices that you do make that could have an impact. If I go out there and not wear a seatbelt in the car and drive, and unfortunately, if I got in an accident, consequences could be where I can be seriously injured. If I got behind the wheel, and many people do after having 2 or 3 drinks, that's a very bad choice that can lead to dangerous, really bad consequences. So really think about that. The choices you make can impact you, the people around you, good and bad. There's good choices and bad choices. And, throughout the day and week, you have those opportunities. You always have a choice to make. People say there's certain situations where you don't have a choice. You do. There's always a choice. You always do something, or you always can do something else. And remember, if you make a bad choice, you may not think it might be a big deal now, but down the road it could be, especially if you make a series of bad choices. That's always I stress that to my young athletes. You have to be mindful of the choices you make, especially the ones that affect the people around you. So remember that choices that you make will affect you and will affect your quality of life. Do the best you can as far as making good, solid choices to have a good, solid life.